Hi guys, this is Khurram and it's my second part for React Basic with JavaScript. So far, I have created the project and it's running at port 3000. Now let's see. It's running here at 3000 and next I shall change the code, and for coding I will use Visual Studio Code. It's a free tool or IDE, and if anyone likes to install Visual Studio Code, then open the site code.visualstudio.com, and then depending on operating system we can download the installer. It's easy and free to install. I have already Visual Studio Code in my computer, so I will not reinstall it again, but I will open the project. How to open the project? There are actually many ways. For example, we can open the code, Visual Studio Code, and then file, open the folder, and this is the project folder. We can open the whole folder. Or even more easy way is where the project is running in command prompt. Just stop this process and then enter only command.code, and it will automatically open the project in Visual Studio Code. Now the project is running in Visual Studio Code, VS Code. It's not compulsory to use VS, but it's good for React projects. Let's talk about file structures. Node_module is a module where all the packages are installed. It's a very big folder, but it's important one. Public is a folder where contains index.html, which is very important file, and rest of the other images. Source code is which contains the source code, and all the component which we shall write will also come here. And here, this is the important file, package.json. It's a file where all the dependencies and scripts are mentioned here. But in this video, we are not going to write anything here, so let's close it. There are a couple of files which are very important in React projects. So let's talk about these files. First is index.html, second is index.js, and third is app.js. Index.html, it's a HTML file which actually show all the rendered component. Final outputs actually visible here. We don't do any coding or any logic here, but sometimes we add some CSS styles sheets in this file. Index.js is an entry point for React, but it's also considered as setting point, where if we are adding Redux or any routing, so we add setting here. App.js, actually I normally use this file for structure the site, and then I create the new folder which normally calls component, and then I add all the customized components in this folder for middle level project. That's it. Now we know the file structure. Let's see one by one these all files. First is index.html, and it's very big. Let's first clean up a little bit. We don't need this one, even we don't need this one. Okay, we only need these three files. Actually, this is the root div, which is important because all the elements actually will come here, will render here. So this div is very important. Nothing more, just close this one. And we don't need this one and this one as well as this one. Let's be there. Okay, so we have only single file and index.html in this folder, and let's come to the source folder, and here we don't need this one, just delete this one. And index.js, as I said, is this file we normally use for setting, but we are not doing any setting because we are not using Redux or not routing, so nothing here. So just remember one thing, it's calling app folder, app file, but we are not doing anything here. Just close this file. Now here is the important file, app.js. This is the file where we actually write our coding or structure the site and so on. But now first clean little bit this one and this, read all this one. Okay, now just write hello world and let's see if it's working. Hello world. So our project is running very well. Now what to do? We have structure. Now it's the time to create our first component. It's the time to create a first component. Okay, how we create a component? There are two implementation. First is class implementation and other is function implementation. The class implementation is old technique, but function implementation is advanced and latest technique, and there are many advanced components or techniques are with function implementation. So I shall follow this function implementation, but for the sake of learning I will also show the class implementation. Let's close this one and first create a new folder which calls components, and in this code create a JavaScript file because I'm doing with JavaScript. So in this file, and let's call it employee.js. It's our first implement. And okay, and now first class implementation, and we can say import react from React and come on, and then class and then render return hello I am class component, and export default employee. That's it. It's a class implementation of a component, and now let's call this component in app.js. Now we have created the component. And now we are actually using this component in app.js. So first import the component, import employee from, yes, that's good, and let's call this one. That's it. Now let's see if it's working. Hi, I'm a class component, so it's working very fine. So now we have created a class component which is actually running, but we are not using class component. So let's comment this, actually delete, no comment this, okay. And now implement the function component, which is more advanced. So how to do it? Const employee and return. It always return a single element, so div, I'll say hello I am function component. That's it. Nothing more is returning. Yes, let's see now. Hello I am function component. It's working now. So we have now implement both the component. First is class component and second is function component, and we shall follow this structure. Let's delete this component. Actually this function is just like C++ function. For example, if we function employee, these both are exactly same. These both are, if we write like this one and comment and say 2 just to make if it's really working. See, it's working. They both are exactly same. However, this is old C++ classic style, and this is new and yeah, advanced, looks advanced. So we are using this one. Now we have created a component and we are using it. So what's our next target? Now we have created, okay. Next target is we like to have 3 employees like this one, a list of 3 employees. Okay, how to do it? So first this is our component and we shall design it. How shall, okay, this one is a big, this is our main div, and then smaller second div which actually will contain these both. So first is image, and second is name, just a paragraph, and this is Hashim Shehzad. Actually it's a name of my son, and then last div which will contain the designation, so software developer. We are not using anything here, so just let comments in and let's see if it's working. Yeah, it's showing. So Hashim Shehzad software developer, but we need to have some border and like that, and we also need image. So let's add this image. For images, first we have to add images in our project. So create a new folder called images, and in this folder let's copy the images, and I have images here, and let's copy all these images in this folder. Now it is our images, so just add and to okay, and it says the images, and then Hashim.png. Yes, I think it's now showing the image. SCR, okay, it's not showing the image. Why? Come on. Okay, now it's showing the image. So we have to add now border. So for border we have to add CSS code. So there are 3 ways to add the CSS code. Here first we can add inline codes, CSS style. So like this one, this is called inline. We also can add code CSS style here, which is called in file or in page. But actually the right method is we should create the CSS code here. And first I'm creating first my class amp upper div, because it's okay. And here I'm saying border 4 pixels solid blue, and yeah, nothing more. Let's add this class here, and if in CSS we have to write class name instead of class, and then this one. Let's see if it's working. No, it's not working. No, is it working? But it's too much, it's too bigger, and it's outside of this one. Why? Yes, no, this class actually will come here, so it's fine. But now we have to set the width. Width is 220 pixel. Come on. So now it's working. Next is what the target. These image and name should be parallel. Name and image should be parallel, and this is we doing here. This photo is actually clean. So let's create another file. We say class name mp image name dim. That's fine. And display no flex. Yeah, it's only. And now no. Why? Because we didn't add this class in with our component. So this is the, yes, actually this is the component name, and here, so here it is. So now they are parallel. Yes, now the font should be bigger, and it should be border dot bottom, and it's 1px solid gray is fine, and we have a border. And we also like to increase the font of the name, so paragraph, and font size is 22. I think it's fine, just for a simple, yeah, it's fine. And image, everything looks good. Just little bit more positioning, padding top 15 pixel, padding left 15. I'm just positioning a little bit so it looks in the middle of the way. Now is, see, sorry, it should be actually both margin. Yes, now it's a little bit on right side, nothing more. So good so far. But what is our target? We like to show 3 components instead of 1. Now right now we are showing only 1 employee, so we have to show 3. Simple. Here we are calling the component, so instead of 1 we call it 3 times. That's it. But here is a problem. We are calling a component 3 times with the same data. So component is reusable, but it's not a real purpose. If you can remember, I said React is component management through props and states. So actually props makes the component reusable. And here we should have different image, different name, and different designation. Again here, different image, different name, and different designation. So instead of static data, here, instead of static data, we should have dynamic data. How we do it? We do it with props. So first, let's create props. And first is name, simple. Name, and second prop is image name, and then it should also just set empty first time, and destination, and let's okay. So we have created 3 props, and we are passing different Hashim Shehzad. Okay, let's see now. We are passing a parameter or prop which has value Hashim Shehzad, and now let's use it here, props, and we are actually adding static data here, so just remove it and add props.name. That's it. Now let's see. It's showing Hashim Shehzad, but rest 2 are empty. Why? Because we are not passing any parameter value here. So let's just pass in Miza and Stickman. Okay, and now we have different Miza and Stickman. Now the names are different because we are using dynamic data instead of static data. Okay, now let's change the designation. Same way, Now let's pass here software developer, and here HR employee. Sorry, it's just I'm using HR employee, and here finance manager. And no, why? Because we are passing the values, but we are not using here. Still it's static here, software developer. So just instead of static, just use props. Why props? Why I'm doing again and again? Designation, and it's working now. But it's not a good practice to write props all the time here, and if we are using many times, so I think it's not a good practice. So instead of this one, let's use a more classic style, and it's actually called separated style, but it's a more classic. So just like in C++, we call we pass the parameters and then we write the name of the parameter. I'm going to do the same thing with curly brackets. So first parameter is name, second is designation. So I'm passing here. Advantage is here now I don't have to write props all the time. So delete this one and this one, and it's fine. It's working. So Maida, HR employee, and everything is fine. Now one problem, we have to change the image. So how to do it? First we have to add image name. Actually we are already passing this image name. So this image name, image. So we just pass here, and it's the image. We actually passing the static path, so just make it a little bit dynamic, and it's image name. And here for hashim.png, and for Maisa png, and that stickman, no, I think it's logo2.png. Here it is. Now we have added dynamic images, different name, different designations, because in our component we are passing 3 parameters. First is name, second is image name, and third is designation, which have different values. We passing to the same component and is showing the different values because we have dynamic data. Now everything's fine, perfectly fine. What next? Actually nothing more, different images. But let's suppose we like to show that if the one employee has gone, so instead of blue border, it should have red border. Okay, and the employee which are still working in the company, they should have a blue border. How to do it? Same props and different values. So let's add one more prop, which called is working, and first I'm using true, so all are working. And in component we can pass here is working, it doesn't matter the order. And we have to change the border style. Okay, and border style of full upper div, and then it is here. So just we don't need here, just come here, and here we say, actually we are showing the border, we are showing border here. So just here, just delete this one and comes here, and border 4 pixel solid, and then plus, and here it's little bit logic. It says I'm using braces and curly braces actually, and I'm saying is working if true, and it's conditional operator, then the border is blue, otherwise it should be red. That's it. It's just I'm just saying here, instead of just passing the static red color name or blue color name, I'm just saying if this parameter is true, which means the employee is working, then blue, otherwise red. And here we say, okay, all are working, but Maisa is not working. By the way, it's my daughter name. So I'll just change Maisa here, and let's see, it's red now because these both have true, so they are working, and she's not working, she has false, maybe from state and somewhere it has false. That's why it's showing the red. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I think what we have learned so far, we have learned how to design a component, how we can implement a component, class component and function component. Then we have learned that how to pass the parameters. So actually we have learned component designing and reusability. That's it. That's it for basics. Thanks for watching, and thank you so much.